Knock this in, 31 pickup right here. Smart! Don't think about our offense. Guard for me, all right? Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Brey is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Gatorade, Under Armour, Coke Zero, and Sprint. Inside Notre Dame Basketball is also sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, Bank of America, CBTS, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.
We have been in road dog mode. We have been poised. We've been together. There's been no frustrating talk. It's all helping each other out. And when a guy gets called out, he doesn't have thin skin. We understood it. That's why we got 6 road wins in this league, right? The road dogs have done it with that demeanor, that personality. Let's get number 7 tonight.
Notre Dame head coach Mike Brey, before his 11th ranked Irish took the floor to face 14th ranked Louisville at the Yum Center. Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball. I'm Jack Nolan, joined as always by the head coach of the Fighting Irish. And coach, the Road Dogs got it done again.
Road Dogs did it, Jack. They really did. I'm so proud of them. I thought we had great poise. We answered every run. And like we've done all year on the road, we made big-time winning plays when we needed to.
When we come back, we'll take you to the Yum Center for all the highlights of Notre Dame's school record 7th conference road victory of the season. The Louisville game was the first game for your team in 8 days, and you were coming off a disappointing loss to Syracuse. So what were your concerns heading into the game?
You know, you're concerned you haven't competed in a while. Are you going to be rusty? All of those. But, God, I was really proud of how we responded, Jack. We were going to have to play against zone again. We knew we were going to have to break their press, but they played that half-court matchup zone. We weren't very good against Syracuse's zone. Could we make some improvements? We did have a week to practice. And what's helped us on the road, Jack, was get off to good starts. When we get off to good starts, it's kind of a confidence builder for us. Demetrius Jackson with a really nice drive. Pat hit that 3 to kind of get us started in the game. We went zone early, and it got us a couple turnovers, and then we got out in transition. This is just a heady play. Jerian hustles. Demetrius with a throw ahead. Zach with a finish right there. Demetrius, I think he did a better job this game of not calling off drives. Keep going. You turn those shoulders with his strength. Real good ball screen defense here by Bonzi and Demetrius. And Bonzi off the bench was flat out fabulous. I think one of the best layup makers in the league. He just makes tough shots. Jerian, with the ball out of bounds against pressure, saw the floor the whole night. We got a couple of those where we threw over the top to keep them loose on their press. Again, against the zone, we get a turnover, and then we get an easy bucket right here. We got stuff in transition, and that is so helpful. Here we are in zone again. They go over the top, miss a tough one, but it kind of sets us up for some transition right here. Running an early offense, and I love Steve's confidence. Just step up and knock it in right there. When we can get misses or turnovers and run, we're extremely dangerous. Here is another example. Look at us. Our spacing is good running the floor right here. Pat stretches it over here. We kick it back up top. I thought it was a big game for Demetrius Jackson to kind of step forward and play well. Torres gave us good minutes. What a great find by the best ball screen decision maker in the country, Jerian Grant. There's another example of decisions. Bonzi with a big rebound and a difficult shot. What a lift that he gave us on both ends of the floor. To end the half, we kind of clear it out. This is a pro move right there. That's a lottery pick move right there to end the half. And we go in at halftime very confident, but they get off to a great start. Harrell is a big-time player and a hard one to handle. They cause some turnovers. Here's one of them. And all of a sudden, it's going to be a tie score real quick. And now the Yum Center crowd is really into it. Snyder hits a 3 in the corner. They've got it tied. But, Jack, throughout the game, our poise was great. We go long again. Demetrius this time. And Bonzi makes a tough one to kind of give us the lead again, throwing over the top of the press. Steve with a nice probe. This is a big-time bucket here to put us up 5 in 2 possessions. Demetrius stepping up and taking that short J. Good, strong move there. That is a difficult shot by Bonzi, but what a great confidence by him. Steve Astoria with a strong move and a three-point play to kind of give us even more breathing room. Jerian inside, nice kick right there to Demetrius. We make the 10-footer, and we are in an offensive rhythm. It's going to be hard to catch us. Little circle entry here. I love Demetrius's poise here. He catches this thing. His feet are good. Little fake to the baseline. Boom, knocks it down. I think a big game for him, Jack, to grow in confidence. And here he is, I think the best player in the country when it comes down to game situations, clearing it out and scoring it. Great road win, our 7th road win.
The final stats show a Notre Dame team that shot the ball exceptionally well and also defended well with 8 steals and 12 points off turnovers. That's what Louisville usually does to you. Led by Demetrius Jackson's team-high 21 points and Bonzi Colson's career-high 17 points, Notre Dame underclassmen accounted for 76% of Notre Dame's scoring in the game. That's terrific.
I guess we'll be okay next year when I see that, But I thought our young guys were fabulous. They were really good. Again, Bonzi continues to get better. 26 minutes for him. His minutes are going up, but he's just so productive, Jack.
As we head to break, we take you back inside the Notre Dame locker room to hear Coach Brey's post-game message to his team.
The Road Dogs are still riding, baby. Yes, sir. You know what we are away from our building? What are we, 9-3 right now? 9-2? Coach Brey, 9-2? 9-3. We're 9-3 away from this building. And that's what really, or away from our building, that's what really matters, baby. After Saturday, everything's on the road. Big time job again, great job, great poise, answering runs, excellent against pressure, and man, we locked in defensively in 21 when we had to down the stretch. Father, thank you for helping us play together as a unit and keeping us away from injury, and a special thanks to Father Ted. I think he was sitting on our shoulder the whole evening tonight. Through your name we pray. Amen. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Great job.
The graphic you just saw indicates Coach Brey has been going big in the annual wins department. But in this week's second part of our Coach Brey Goes Big series, we are talking about a different kind of big. One that involves big engines, big speed, and big altitude. We take you now to Coach Brey's preseason ride with the Blue Angels.
I'm excited and I'm a little tight, but this is even harder than game day.
Well, don't worry about it. If I can do it, you've got it.
You're going to experience what it's like to fly with the U.S. Navy, okay? So we're going to take you up in this Blue Angel FA-18. You're going to experience speeds probably greater than the speed of sound, over 750 miles per hour. We'll go as slow as 120 miles per hour while we're airborne. We'll go as low as 50 feet when we accelerate off the deck, and you'll pull up to 7.5 Gs. So you're going to push the aircraft and your body to your maximum extent practical.
First things first, you want to make sure that you have something in your stomach. Don't want to go flying on an empty stomach because your stomach acids will swirl around and it will cause you to dry heave.
Gotcha.
Also, you want to make sure that you are hydrated. So plenty of water, good to go there. But bananas are good too because they taste the same way coming up as they do going down. All right?
Looking good. Better go.
Made out to you. Oh, this is us flying in front of One World Trade Center last December. I really appreciate flying with us today. It was an honor for us, and hopefully you enjoyed the flight.
Big time, big time. Trip of a lifetime and an honor. Go Irish.
All right, Coach. That looked like fun. Sorta, was it?
My stomach got a little queasy watching it again. It was fun once I got into it a couple minutes. I was very anxious before I went up, but what a thrill to do that, and what a classy group of people to be around, that whole Blue Angel administration.
I know you said it felt like you had done a bunch of lunges after you got out of the plane.
Yeah, because you're flexing to make sure the blood doesn't, rush out of your head and you pass out when you're pushing 7 or 8 Gs. So, I woke up the next morning and you felt like you ran or you lifted weights and worked out for 2 hours. It was a workout, but what a thrilling thing to be part of.
And folks, you can watch the entire 9-minute version of that Coach Brey Goes Big with the Blue Angels story on the web on WatchND. Now, when we come back, we sit down for a chat with the Notre Dame player who is a leading candidate for both ACC and National Player of the Year honors, Jerian Grant. Coach Brey often says the key to having a good conference record is how a team bounces back from losses. Well, the same can be said about life. Jerian Grant made a mistake last year, and it cost him the second half of the 2013-14 season. But he decided to return to Notre Dame and has put together an amazing season by every possible measurement to help push the Notre Dame basketball program back into the ranks of the nation's elite schools.
I wanted to be back with my brothers, back with the family and the teammates, and then, obviously the relationship I built with Coach Brey has really taken me a long way, and I wanted to come back and finish out strong for him.
You came back. You were a great player when you left. You're an even greater player now. How did you do that, not being with the team?
I love the game, so I study, I watch every game, I studied tendencies of our players, I learned how to be a leader, I focused on, talking to, the young guys, even talking to, Eric and Garrick and Pat, just keeping a communication with the players even though I was gone. I think it helped me become a better leader and a better, floor general.
Right now, you are responsible or involved in 41% of Notre Dame's scoring.
It means a lot. Obviously it means that I'm a huge part of the offense. The ball runs through me. The players and the coaches have confidence in me to make plays and put the ball in my hands.
You were always a good passer. Now you're a ridiculously good passer. You've thrown some passes this year that I couldn't believe got to their destination. How did that part of your game get to this point?
I think that the chemistry with my teammates, I know where they're going to be, they know where they need to be at for me to get a pass from me. So just, being around the team, this summer, going to Italy, just talking to the guys, the family environment that we have, I feel like, we can just read off each other and it makes the plays easier for me to make.
Who's your role model?
I would say my dad, obviously, being around the game, he's taught me so much, I've learned from him, and one thing he always told me to stay humble, and I think, that's come a long way for me.
And Harvey, Horace, twins, great NBA players. What's that been like for you, not only to have a dad who played at that level, but to have an uncle who starred both in college and in the pros?
It's great, it gives you two people to talk to, when things aren't going right or when you need advice on anything that has to do with basketball, it gives you two people to talk to that have, had different careers, but at the same time, they've been great professionals.
You come from a family of basketball overachievers, but when they talk to you, how proud are they of what you're doing now?
Extremely proud. I talk to my dad and my brothers, all the time, almost every day. So, they're extremely proud, especially, after what happened last year. It means a lot to them to see me doing this well after what happened.
Talk about your relationship with Coach Brey.
When I came out here to visit, I wasn't sure this is the place I wanted to be. I love the school and I love the environment. But talking to Coach Brey, he talked about how much of a family it was, how he was going to take care of me. Especially from us being from the same high school, same area. So, I knew from day one, once I committed here, that we were going to have a great time.
What's been your best moment here so far?
I think this whole season. Obviously this whole season has just been wonderful. We've come a long way from last year, and we're playing really well right now, and we're looking forward to what we can do for the rest of the season.
How do you want people 10, 20, 30 years down the road to remember you when they think of Notre Dame's Jerian Grant?
One of the best to play here, a guy that was extremely unselfish, a guy that did anything for his team to win, rather if it was 3 points and 10 assists, or rather if it had to be 20 points, he was a guy that was unselfish and did anything for his team to win.
Coach, safe to say, Jerian will be remembered for that and much more.
Absolutely, Jack. It's one of the great stories in our program's history. It's the greatest story of college basketball this year. But to see him communicate and verbalize and become the leader that he's become along with the great player is very rewarding.
It is fitting that this week's ATI Physical Therapy Player of the Week also features Jerian Grant, his halftime buzzer beater at Louisville.
5 seconds left. Grant driving left side of the lane, behind his back, at the foul line. Fakes,
fall away jumper. Got it! At the buzzer! Jerian Grant does it again! And Notre Dame leads by double digits for the first time in the game, 42-31.
It's time now for this week's Ask Coach Brey question, presented by CBTS. This week's question comes from Doug Buell of Michigan City, Indiana. Coach, you often talk about the Italy trip. This team has so much chemistry. Would you do a trip like that again?
Absolutely. And the rule right now is once every 4 years you can do it. But I think with, as you've read, the power conferences having autonomy, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to every other year and we would do it. It's just, and it's great educationally for our guys. Many of them had never been out of the country, you know, but the chemistry, the team building, it jump-started our season.
And it's carried all the way through to this point in time. The tragic eye injury he suffered before enrolling at Notre Dame has limited Eric Katenda's once very promising basketball career, but it has not limited the tremendous energy and effort he brings to practice or the engaging, upbeat, and outgoing personality he displays each and every day. First car you ever drove?
A Mazda.
Get up early or sleep in?
Get up early.
Who was your role model?
My mama.
One thing the public would be surprised to learn about you?
I talk a whole lot.
Favorite NBA team?
The Knicks.
Favorite thing to do when relaxing?
Listen to music.
Favorite sport to play other than basketball?
Soccer. I got the footwork.
Favorite part of practice?
The warm-up.
Worst part of practice?
Stretching.
Best part of your game?
Versatility.
Which is better, throwing down a spectacular dunk or blocking a shot?
Throwing down a dunk.
Assistant coach who is most like Coach Brey?
Let's say Coach Inglesby.
Best defender on the team?
Pat Connaughton.
Best leaper on the team?
VJ Beecham.
Best dunker on the team?
Myself.
Worst dunker on the team?
Austin Torres.
Best dresser on the team?
Between Pat and Jerian.
Free throw contest, who wins, you or Coach Brey?
I have to take him Coach Brey every day of the week.
You know, people forget he was a big-time recruit. Terrible injury that's really ruined his career, but it hasn't ruined his attitude.
Unbelievable attitude, a great example of a man, and has never felt sorry for himself. And it's been great that he's been healthy in practice with us all season because he's hard to play against. He's a big part of our fabric of our program. Folks, when we come back, we'll take a look at the regular season home finale against Clemson and Notre Dame's quarterfinal game in the ACC tournament. A Clemson team that is very good on defense comes to town on what I know will be a very emotional senior day. It will be. You know, for Jerian and Pat, we certainly want to send them off with a win, all they've meant to our program. But a Clemson team that really guards you. And it was a dogfight at Clemson. We had to escape with a win down there. I expect a very, very difficult game from a physical Clemson team. And regardless of what happens, you begin ACC tournament play Thursday night in the quarterfinals. Well, it's nice to know you have the double bye and you don't play till Thursday. It'll give us some time to get down there and prepare and scout on Wednesday, whoever we play on Thursday. That will do it for this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball. We, of course, will be back next week with Senior Day and ACC tournament highlights, plus a special conversation with Captain Pat Connaughton. Until then, for Coach Brey, I'm Jack Nolan. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Irish.
Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Brey has been presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Gatorade, Under Armour, Coke Zero, and Sprint. Inside Notre Dame Basketball is also sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, Bank of America, CBTS, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.